Inspiring ideas that propel the business community forward. And now, Connect with KB.
This is Kristin Beltzer, and this is an episode of Connect with KB. My guest today is heavily involved in making an economic impact in the Michigan aerospace industry. Joining me is Dermot Brannock, General Manager of MI-GSO PCUBED. Welcome to the podcast, Dermot. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, KB. Delighted to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here, too. You are involved in the aerospace industry and MI-GSO PCUBED. That's a mouthful. You know that. And we talked a little bit about that offline. Let's talk about the company and explain to the listeners exactly what it is.
Yeah, so PCUBED MI-GSO is a project management consulting company. So we've been working for over 25 years globally on some of the largest industry problems and challenges across aerospace, automotive, high-tech, telcos, right across pharmaceuticals and financial services. So we do everything from the program management of the Olympics in London in 2012 to the releases of the latest technologies in automotive and aerospace, help companies really execute their projects, deliver on time, on budget.
What are the challenges that people are having now? I suspect there was probably challenges before COVID, but now how do people manage projects, and what kind of part do you play in that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think we originally were trying to get together at the start of the year, and you know where we are. It's hard to believe where we are now. You know, it's almost where is the industry? What is happening with the industry? But the challenges really are. Not just an economic challenge, but also the health challenge. So companies now are trying to deliver critical initiatives remotely, virtually, trying to figure out how to work as teams globally across very complex technical challenges and still deliver in a way that's going to meet the needs of the business. So we've been working with a lot of companies right now on how to change. What does that transformation need to be? What does it mean to use new technology? And how do you adopt and drive that really to execution successfully? So we're seeing the challenges of working virtually, but also the economic challenges. You know, the aerospace industry is just going through an incredible change. It's just a night and day from a year ago. You know, we had a backlog of thousands of hours of work that was going to be against a set of planes that were needed all over the world. Now we have Delta Airlines laying off 2,500, retiring 2,500 pilots. The demand, nobody's flying, nobody's driving.
You bet. I just saw the CEO this morning. He was on, and they're losing $25 million a day.
Yes, so a day, you know, and you think of the economic impact and how are companies going to survive. So the first thing they're starting to look at that we're helping them is to prioritize, and portfolio management helps us to bring techniques to actually help balance the budget and the spend against the capacity and capability, and start making intelligent decisions on cost cutting. It's not just, you can't just cost cut. Eventually you have to say, we have to innovate or die, and where do we go, and what decisions are going to help us drive things forward. So we're helping companies through that. You know, ultimately, you know, there's going to be a new normal. Are we there yet? I'm not sure. Is it 6 months? Is it 9 months away? We're not sure. So we're trying to plan and help companies really figure out what that might look like and what does it mean to actually execute. So when we make the decision on what the strategy is going to be, how do we execute? How do we enable that to happen? How do companies work in a more agile way? How do they take more decisions around lean and the digital impacts of those decisions? How do they use the technology around them? Finally, we've been hearing digital transformation as a phrase for 5 years, maybe more, and companies like, what does it mean? I'm not sure. But now it finally is sort of hitting home as you start to leverage the technology to work smartly, work more efficiently, and actually use data to make decisions, actually see the reporting and what that means, because you have to. So it's finally here where companies are I learned a phrase many years ago, KB, was there has to be enough pain to change. Well, believe me, there's enough pain out there to say we're going to change, you know?
For sure. And, you know, it must be hard for them now, even in, you know, normal times, whatever that used to look like. For demand planning and what, you know, envision down the road and what that looks like. And they must be just kind of all upside down right at the moment in terms of being able to look out and make any kind of plan. So you must have to bring a sense of normalcy back and kind of ground zero for them.
That's correct. As I said, we're going from a demand situation, which was a backlog of planes for many years, and where there was this term called vertical integration of the OEMs in the aerospace, who essentially were trying to manage that to drive efficiency, to really drive what they believe cost out of the supply chain across a very complex global supply chain, and that is easier to do. It's still a difficult task, but it's easier to do when you know you have a backlog of orders, and the backlog just keeps growing, and you know how much is your spend and how many planes you're going to deliver and when you're going to get paid. And for example, now, all our airlines are cancelling their orders. They're delaying they taking the orders. So the OEMs are really, really struggling to decide, okay, what capacity do we need to have? When are we going to actually see some of the demand pick up again? How do we manage our cash flow against that? And you're seeing these announcements from Airbus and Boeing accordingly. The unfortunate thing is, what's that going to impact the supply base? And Michigan is full of suppliers in the aerospace industry who are all in that boat right now of figuring out, okay, what does it mean and how does that impact us, and how are we going to figure the way out of this thing?
Even through the disruption, though, the aerospace industry is really going gangbusters. We know that right now, even in light of COVID. Why partner with AIM, the Aerospace Industry Association of Michigan? Yeah,
no, it's a great ask. I first met Kevin Michaels from Aerodynamic, and we've known each other for a long time. And he introduced me to Tony because we grew out of the automotive business.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And our first clients, we were formed in Michigan. In 1994 on St. Patrick's Day, coincidence, right? But it was very much automotive centric, and we got focused on the engineering and what that means. And Kevin and I were talking a few years ago, and Tony was kicking off this aero-auto connection because there's so much engineering talent and so much innovation and so much efficiency and education around engineering that's available in Michigan. It's just amazing when you think about it. And for us, the connection is obvious. Our biggest client in Europe is Airbus, and for us, it's all about how we work across that. We're supporting aerospace clients in every other country in where there's major centers for aerospace, and we're supporting down in Mobile, Alabama. And said, we want to be supporting more in Michigan.
Sure.
Tony, I'd love to spend more time working on this and helping aerospace companies understand how much talent is available, how much capacity is available, and how much really innovation is available. Remember, the automotive industry has gone through so many cycles of ups and downs over the years. I don't know how many times I've heard about Michigan is finished for the big three. There's no more automotive industry. Do you remember 2007, 2008?
And the thing is now, Jeff Semick at RCO Engineering just wrote, there's an article regarding the U.S. Space Command headquarters potentially coming to Michigan. And, we have a great capacity to diversify. And that's what you're seeing with the automotive now to aerospace. And we saw it just in the last few months when you saw GM and others be able to very quickly pivot to make PPE and be able to do that. And so we have the ability to be very, very flexible here and move quickly. And so I think Michigan becomes ideal for that type of thing.
I think you're absolutely right. And that's the innovation. There's only so much cuts you can make and eventually you die. If you don't innovate, you have to innovate and you have to do it. And I think when a challenge like this comes about, it really sees the best of the engineering companies, and so many of those engineering companies were able to adapt and respond to the health crisis. And they will continue to do that. I'm not sure if there's a Tesla of the aerospace industry, but we're starting to see, certainly in Germany, we're working with a company called Lilium, which are looking to do the last almost taxis by air, if you want, to land people from the airport into the cities.
Really?
Yeah, we set up a PMO for them to exit. They're venture capital backed. They're very well funded. We're starting to see companies like Boom out in in Colorado, looking at what's going to be the next frontiers of aerospace. Where is it going to go? What's going to be the innovators in there? Who's going to come to the forefront? I firmly believe in the next 5-10 years, we're going to see some more of those companies really pop up and really change the industry. The industry is fundamentally going to change. This is such a big challenge for the industry. Innovation will happen. It will come. In what form, what shape? We're all making bets. Did we buy stock in Tesla many years ago? I wish I bought more, but somebody's going to get there. And I'm really confident that the talent is in Michigan to really make those steps forward.
And I think that's right. I mean, do you do a lot of work with the universities as well?
Yes, we have partnerships with universities and U of M. We've been taking some graduates and interns each year, and we've been looking to build those relationships. It's hugely important. That talent pool, I believe the aerospace course in the U of M is the oldest anywhere in the US, and I think it's fantastic to see. But the talent that is coming available in Michigan is just amazing and second to none, I believe. And every year we recruit a large amount of consultants. We train them in project management, but the graduates are in engineering, in mechanical or aerospace, and so on. And we're just bringing them in and giving them the consulting skills and experiences on project management and what it means to actually execute. But it's a talent pool in Michigan across a wide range of engineering schools, not just to U of M, but a whole range of from Lawrence Tech, Kettering, and so on. We're blessed in Michigan to have so much talent available.
Is there a certain skill set, and how about women coming into the field as well? And from a project management standpoint, is there a particular skill set that leads itself well to being able to do that?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I think we're seeing the talent, the increase in engineering talent from women and from the different ethnic backgrounds is just increasing enormously. So we hire a multitude of folks from backgrounds. We see women are really making the name in engineering like never before. And it's great to see Mary Barr and others leading the way in all these big companies. And I think we've been very lucky that we have some very talented ladies in our team. We're very excited. They have great consulting skills is what we're looking for. The personality, to be able to interact, understand a challenge, understand how to take that challenge and turn it into a solution. And everybody needs those critical thinking skills to be successful in consulting. And people with coming out of an engineering background, they'll have a lot of the base foundational technical skills, and we're looking for the attributes around consulting that will really help them. And we're really proud of the women in our business. They're doing tremendously well.
How do you raise more awareness to the industry itself, and what are you doing? And I guess I suspect that the Aerospace Industry Association of Michigan, they're doing that too. They're trying to get the word out. But how do you do that? Yeah,
we're constantly working on getting the word out. I think we're one of the best kept secrets in Michigan, and I think we're Tony and his team are doing an amazingly well in a couple of short years of really raising the profile of the aerospace industry in Michigan. People just associated Michigan with automotive. Full stop. And it's it's amazing when you think about it how much the things have changed over the last 2 or 3 years and just in raising awareness of aerospace. But we're working on all sorts of different forums and across all sorts of different platforms to continue to do that, and we will. And it would be fantastic to see Space Command come to Michigan. I think Michigan deserves that. We're certainly, we have an office in Houston as well, and there's a big, obviously, NASA presence down in that way. Traditionally, it'd be great to see Michigan win, and we can compete with the best of them out there for sure. But we're continuing to look at ways to get the name out there and to promote not just Michigan, but the talent within Michigan. It's about the people and the leadership that's available in Michigan.
How has the industry changed since you got into it?
Oh, wow. I know I don't look this old, right? But I started in 94. I was talking to my team. We have a few younger business managers, I can say that, right? And I think some of them hadn't even experienced the recession. We've had 10 years of growth. And I said, look, recessions come every 10 years or so. We'll hit a bump in the road or a big bump in the road. And the Great Recession, nobody said there'll never be anything like this again. But nobody planned for COVID, right? The industries have changed through the years because they've had to. The automotive world changed because it had to. There was a big push around efficiency, fuel efficiency, and now it's all moving towards electric vehicles, autonomous, driver safety, connectivity, mobility. Aerospace will move that way as well. They will look for different ways to innovate and move forward. The changes that are driven because of the economic impacts, they drive innovation. So initially we have challenges, but we drive things forward. And with the right leadership and the right talent, smart people figure out things, and they will move it forward. And I'm sure in Michigan, we may be having an Elon Musk somewhere out there.
I think so too.
I would hope we'll find them. It might come out of one of our great universities. The talent is there, KB. We just have to find it. We have to give them the opportunities to be successful, and we have to back them.
Absolutely. I so enjoyed having you on. I want you to come on with me again, so we won't try and wait another 6 months, okay? But let's see if we can get that on the calendar. My guest today, Dermot Brannock. He is with MI-GSO PCUBED. I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, KB. It's a pleasure.
You bet. I also want to thank my supporting sponsors, Marketing Resource Group, White Law, Dowding Industries, Governmental Consultant Services, AF Group, AT&T, and the Loomis Law Firm. You can listen to all of my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristin Beltzer.